Okay, so till last session, what we did, I'll just summarize very high level. We discussed about what is a cloud and all, and the user part we discussed, and offerings and project we discussed. These are the 3 points we can summarize. When we talk about cloud, we discussed about our course, meaning of our course, and what are the different options are available in the cloud, SaaS, PaaS, and the landscape of the instances we discussed. And we discussed users are 2 types, but we have seen how to create the implementation user by assigning the application implementation consultant and IT security manager. And we have seen how to enable the offerings and how to create implementation project, how to select offerings and options during or after creating implementation project, how to update the status, how to assign the resource to the project level or task list or offering or option level, and how to check the progress of the project. Also, we have seen your project means progress of setups. So these all are the points just we gone through. So now we'll discuss one point. If you want to record the transactions in the system, what we should create in the system, we'll discuss. Once we complete that, we'll talk about the business processes, how that procurement process and payment process happens between which departments. In the same way, how sales and billing happens and how we can collect the payments from the customer. These are the 2 key cycles. The cycles we'll discuss maybe after 2 sessions. Now we can get into the concept called as how to create the transactions in the system. Before we go and create the transaction in the system, we have to understand few points. By following the same, we have to create certain things in the system which we call as setups. After completing that, we will test few things, then we'll proceed with the 2 cycles. Okay, some procurement and sales 2 cycles we will discuss, so that we will get understanding about in which area exactly what we are going to understand in this course, and where we have to focus, where we have to get some basic knowledge. These points will be very clear. So if somebody is very new to this course or new to this, whatever you feel, my request is just wait for some time. Wait for some time. Very soon things will become very clear to you, even if you are very new. Or else you can ask me if you have any questions. But my request is you may wait for some time so that it would be very clear. But what we are trying in the system, what we are discussing, what we are practicing on the system, what we are trying to do, you please try to repeat from your end. That's very important. So if you have some discussions today, make a note of each and every point, read and remember. And if you do something in the system today, try to complete multiple times if possible. That's how you will get ready and you'll feel more comfortable. By just like movie, by watching this session, you cannot understand many things. You may feel you understand, later it will become little difficult. Okay, spend some good amount of time from your end. That will help you a lot. Yeah, done. Let's focus on the next point. So we are going to discuss about transactions. If you want to create any business transaction in the system, what we have to keep ready in the system? Very few points. If you are going to record any transaction in the system, you have to capture the date. Okay, say you did some purchases. When you purchased, you are making the payment. When you are making the payment, you did some sales activity. On what date? You received payment from customer. On what date? You take any business activity. If you are going to record in the books or anywhere, you can use books, or you can use some MS Office related, some Excel or any source. You have to capture in more meaningful way. That means if you are going to record any transactions anywhere, you have to include the date. You have to include the date. Fine. And you have to capture the description. What exactly you are doing? What exactly you are doing? You have to specify that. You can call as a description. Okay, when you are doing that activity, what activity you are doing? What activity you are doing, that you can represent with a description. Fine. You did some activity on so and so date. How much you spent or how much you received? you have to address with amount, right? Amount. So these three elements, or you can say these three components are very, very, very important. Whatever the transaction you record, wherever you record. If that is a business related, it's very important. Say this it's not related to business, it is related to some personal. Okay, you may not capture this much detail level when and all. So you are buying something, you purchase something today, you no need to capture when you purchase. Just you may purchase one time. So that is the reason when it comes to individual, these things may not be very important. You buy and you use it. That's all. You no need to prepare reports end of the month, how much we purchase, what we purchase, on what date we purchase. There are few guys definitely they just follow this kind of things also. They'll maintain books, but most of the people nobody follows this kind of practices. So when it comes to organizations, it could be small or medium or large organizations. Definitely they have to maintain the books of records, and each and every transaction, each and every activity they are doing in the organization that need to be tracked so that they can generate the reports that will help them in many ways to take the decision to find out their expense, revenues, profits, loss, etc., etc. So that is the reason when we are going to record the transaction in the system, we have to record more meaningful way. The best thing is, the best example to say more meaningful way, we have to capture when we are doing the transaction, what exactly we are doing. That you can write with the description, and you can write the transaction what you did with how much. Okay, these are the points which you have to understand. We'll go one by one. First, let's talk about date. Okay, let's talk about date. So when you talk about date, if you want to capture the date in the system, we have to create the calendar in the system. What are the to capture the dates, whatever we create in the system that we are calling as calendar, the same as per system we can call as accounting calendar. Okay, we can call it as accounting calendar. So to capture the date, we have to create the calendar in the system. The same calendar you can call as accounting calendar. You can call it just calendar, accounting calendar. Now, if you want to create accounting calendar in the system, if you want to create calendar, or you can call it accounting calendar, if you want to create, what points we have to understand? Let's see that. So if you are going to create the calendar in the system, whether you have to create which calendar, you have to understand. You have to create the fiscal year calendar and just calendar. Okay. Physical year calendar, normal calendar. What does it mean by physical year calendar? Say for example, you are doing the implementation for one country. So now which calendar you have to create? Whether you have to create the physical year calendar or normal calendar. So that totally depends on the country financial year. Okay, the country financial year. Otherwise, let me write it this way. So we always create calendar the system based on the country financial year. You take example of India. We have a specific financial year. When you look at US, we have a different financial year. What is the financial year for US? Jan to December. Okay. What is the financial year in India? April to March. Same way, for few countries, financial years may be same. For many countries, financial years are different. So when you create the calendar for any company, when you do the implementation, we have to look at the country is operating the business in which country. If country is operating the business in the US, we have to follow the US financial year. That's all. Okay. If you look at US financial year, the US financial year is starting in one year and ending in the same year. But if you look at India financial year, it is starting in one year and ending in the different year. Okay. If you take current financial year for India, April 20. When it ends, March, sorry, here, you can say 22. So we are in this financial year now. Okay. So our current financial year is started in April 21 and ends with March 22. So if any country financial year is starting in one year and ending in another year, that we call as fiscal year. To take example of US financial year, what is the current financial year for US? Jan 21 to December 21, same year. Okay, this we call as normal financial year, normal year. Okay, this you can call as calendar year. Okay, so when you create calendar in the system, that you may create as a physical year or calendar year. Physical year means it starts in one year, ends in the other year. Calendar year means it starts and ends in the same year. On what base we create, it may be physical or calendar year. On what base we create, always we create based on the country financially. This is the one point we have to remember when you create the calendar for any client related business. And second point is period type. Okay, period type. So period type means if you take calendar, ideally we could see periods as a monthly. In the same way, you can have a various periods also. You may have a daily periods, you may have a weekly periods, you may have a quarter as a period, you may have a half-yearly as a period, okay, semi-month as a period. This is how you can have a periods. So when you look at the businesses, ideally they follow the practice of monthly. So when you create the accounting calendar, primarily we have to look at 2 points. What is the financial year for that country? Accordingly, we have to create the calendar and what is the period type they require. Okay, ideally period type would be monthly. Apart from that, if you take example period type monthly, for example, you are taking period type monthly. Yes, ideally we create monthly only. Everybody need that. So how many periods we can have for a year? 12 periods. Okay, monthly means 12 periods. As per our system, even if you use period type as a monthly, we have a flexibility to create more than 12 periods. That means we can create the additional periods. What is the purpose of additional periods? Additional periods you may use to record adjustment transactions. The end of the year, when you are closing the books, if you want to record some adjustment transactions, you can use those. Otherwise, you don't want to create adjustment entries in the end of the year in the separate period. You want to enter in the last period of that year. Yes, you can do that. It is not compulsory we have to maintain the additional periods. If you want to maintain, yes, you can maintain. Otherwise, no. Okay. So this is another point you have to understand. If you take period type as a monthly, you can have a 12. But if you want to have additional periods, you can have. Say, we are creating accounting calendar with the period type as monthly. We can have a 12. If you want to have 13, yes, you can have 13 periods. Reality, we have 12. What about the additional period? That is the additional period we call as adjustment period. Okay, adjustment period. Fine. So these are the few points we have to understand. Any questions on this, please?
Is there any specific purpose for period type, Mr. Lakshman?
Period type, how you want to prepare the reports. Okay, what is the ideal like if you have a period type as monthly, you will be able to easily produce the reports monthly. Once you can just do that settlement activities, I mean to say you can finalize the things. So for that purpose you can use. And when you are recording the transaction, that belongs to which period? Ideally it should belongs to month, right? So that's how the period type will help us. Yep. Any other questions here, please? Okay, no questions. So these are the few points we have to understand about accounting calendar. Now we'll go and see how to create the accounting calendar, the system. Yep, let's see now. So we know very well how to create the user, how to create the project, and few other things also we discussed. Now let's navigate to our project. Click on task list, go to manage implementation projects, click on overview, open our project. Now what we want to create? We want to create calendar, or you can call it accounting calendar. Say accounting calendar. You don't need to type the full name. Search. Okay, here is the task called as manage accounting calendars. Click on this task. Okay, manage accounting calendars. So this point already we discussed. If you want to understand more about accounting calendar, you can click on this help. Okay, where we can enable the help from here. You can enable or disable. Hide help icon. It's already enabled by default. If you want to disable, you can disable. If you disable it, if you refresh this page, you don't find any help icons here. Yep, that's how it works. So task name is manage accounting calendars. Click on go to task icon. Here you can find out many calendars which are created in the system. Because this is a Vision instance, in the Vision instance you can find a lot of sample data. So when you work for any client and all, you can just find this page as a blank like this. Okay, like this you can find this page. Whatever the calendar we create, that would be the first calendar. In fresh instance, you can find like this. Now you can click on create. Click on create. So if somebody is from EBS background, I want to give one note for them. The people who are not from EBS, who are learning as a fresher, they don't need to worry about this point. If I'm explaining something which is related to EBS, you can ignore it, not required. Just you may tune that, that's all. So in EBS, if you want to create accounting calendar, we have to create through manual process. Everything we have to enter. But the accounting calendar creation is automated in the Fusion. We don't need to enter all the periods and all. We have to enter certain inputs. Automatically system will create accounting calendar. Okay, in EBS, accounting calendar is manual process. In Fusion, the same is automated. You'll see that. Now here you can enter the name. Okay, you are creating accounting calendar for which client? Definitely we have to include the client name. So later we'll take the different example. Okay, now we are seeing how to create this calendar, etc., through manual process. There is separate concept called as rapid implementation. There, without entering anything in the system, to spreadsheet, you will be able to create many setups. When we work on that concept, we will work on that concept very soon, maybe max within week time. Okay, when we are dealing with that, we'll use some company name and we'll proceed. For now, we will proceed with the XYZ Inc. as our client. Okay, now simply here we can give the name as XYZ Inc. accounting calendar. This field, the name field, doesn't allow many characters to enter here. Limited text only it will allow. So that is the reason you can provide the short name. You may write the description here. XYZ Inc. accounting calendar for USA. And what is the start date? What is the start date for this calendar? Now you are creating accounting calendar for USA client. So what is the financial year when it starts? Let's take current financial year. The current financial year is Jan to December. What is the start date? 1st Jan. So the same you have to select here. If you are creating accounting calendar for Indian client, you have to start with April 1st. I am selecting Jan 1st, 2021. Okay. The financial year, the country financial year start date you have to select. Here, period frequency. Okay, period frequency. Just you can accept monthly. We have different period frequencies, quarterly and all. Ideally, what we use is that is monthly. Done. Now you can see first name how it is taken. Okay, this is how it will take the period name. For that you can select the format. Okay, month in 3 digits, year in 2 digits. If you want to change, you can change. This you can accept. Okay, ideally this is the one which we use widely. This is the best format which we ideally can choose. You don't need to change, accept it. So between this month and year, it is taking from month prefix, from year it is taking the suffix. So between this month and year, the separated system is selecting icon that you can accept. Okay, you don't need to set none, you don't need to put slash and all. Okay, whatever system is taking that you can accept. Now here we have one field called as adjusting period frequency. How many adjustment periods you require? How many additional periods you require? Okay, that you can select here. See here different options. Once at beginning of year and once at end of the year. That means 2 extra. One mid-year and once at end of the year. Once mid-year, twice at year end. Once at year end, twice at year end. None, no adjustment, additional periods required. Or other means you can enter how many adjustment periods you require. Quarter means every quarter it will add an adjustment. The year means 4 quarters, it will add 4 adjustment periods. The real practice is ideally we use once at year end. Some clients may say we don't need adjustment periods. Still, as a consultant, we have to suggest them. Better you can have one additional period. If required, you can use. Otherwise, you can ignore it. It won't create any issues. And budgetary control only. When we are dealing with the budget concept, we will talk about it. Now you can ignore. And here you can see one note. When we are dealing with a concept called as a translation, we will discuss. The guys who are from EBS background, they may aware of this point, but anyway, ignore it. We will discuss as a part of this course. These are not relevant as of now. We will discuss when we are dealing with those topics. Now our target is how to create accounting calendar. What are the inputs we provided based on that? Any questions from anyone, please?
Lakshman sir had a question, please. So, while creating a period,
Sorry, your voice is very low.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah. So, suppose we are creating a project for oncoming project. I mean, that starts in the future. So, the period will start from the current year or the future year.
I didn't understand. Future project means.
So, I suppose that we are creating a project for any specific company, and that starts from January 2022. So, the start date of this period would be 2021 or 2022.
Okay. See, this you can take past also, no issues. The reason is what are the periods we require, we can add it. Even we load some past transactions also, right? When you do the implementation today, it is not like from today only use the system. Before you use the system, definitely you would have been doing the business, right? So those also you have to load.
Okay.
Yeah. So always create past year periods also to maintain the past year transactions and also future.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions?
Yeah, Lakshman, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So in EBS, we used to create for future years, for multiple years, when we implement. So that is, you are saying that everything will be automated.
Can you be a bit loud? I'm sorry, your voice is low.
No, I was asking in EBS we used to have like multiple years ahead of the current year. We define the periods, So in
Here
this
also you can do
case,
that.
yes,
Here, I'll show that point also. Yes. When you do the
okay,
implementation, ideally what we do is we'll create the periods for multiple years in one go instead of adding a
that's
year. This is the point you are asking, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. We are going to see that in the next step. We will come to know about that point.
Okay, thank you.
Please, any other questions, please? Any other questions?
Hello, Lakshman sir. This is Manoj.
Yeah, Manoj, please.
Sir, I think one more option is saying user-defined prefix. So that is also, I think this is not in
We
EBS.
don't
I think
use it.
because in
Reason. See, simple.
yeah, yeah,
To put here
yeah.
XYZ. You see the
Mm,
period name, how it will get converted. Do you find some period name somewhere as XYZ Jan 21?
no.
Yeah. We have all type
Yeah.
of clients who are doing business, right? For them,
Okay.
they're given that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Done.
Thanks.
This is the actual good format. You can change it if they want to have something like the different, they want to see year first and the month later, and or else month first and year in 4 digits, etc. This is how they can select. Yep. Right. Any other questions, please? So we can go with this. Okay. So how we are creating accounting calendar? We are giving the name. Description is completely optional, and start date. Start date on what base we are giving? Based on the country financial year. If you are doing the implementation for Indian client, what is the start date? The financial year start date, that date you can give. 1 second, please. And period frequency. Ideally, you can go with a monthly only. And user defined prefix not required. And separated. How you want to separate that period name based on this format that you can select. You can keep this hyphen as it is. You can accept format. You can accept what system is selecting. If your client wants to have some different format, yes, you can choose that. And adjustment periods, frequency, how many adjustment periods you require, that you can choose. Ideally, we can go with this one. And if once you explain to the client this adjustment period, this is a purpose. What is the purpose? You can just enter some adjustment transactions. When you ideally we enter the adjustment transaction at the end of the year. Even client says they don't need adjustment period, as a consultant we have to recommend to have one if they need in the future. The reason is, in future they want to have some additional periods, it is not possible. Only we have to decide at the time of accounting calendar creation. Once we create accounting calendar for their lifetime, say they are going to use this application for 20 years or 25 years. For 25 years they cannot add additional period. So only we have to take the decision at the time of implementation. We should suggest to the client to have at least one adjustment period, even they don't require as of now. In future, if there is any need, if they plan to maintain some adjustment transactions in the separate period, that they can use. So at least one we have to suggest based on their interest. If they need more than one, accordingly you can choose the adjustment period frequency option. Then system will create the periods accordingly. The budgetary control and this node, these are the two separate concepts. Now we are not working on those concepts. Our target is how to create accounting calendar. So these are the points we have to make a note. Remember all this. Yeah. Now any other questions, please?
Yeah, I have a question. What is the, if it is relevant, adjustment period purpose, Mr. Lakshman? So I'm new to this accounting.
Okay. Okay. So we are closing the books end of the year. There are certain amounts or certain transaction, like some suspense transactions. Okay. So what we have to get, we may get, may not get. There is no clarity what we have to pay, whether we are going to pay or not. There are some amounts, there is no clarity on that. This sort of information you can maintain in that a separate period. later once you come to that some conclusion, once you identify, later you can turn into those into with some detailed information, and you can pass to the real periods. So that's how you can use it.
Okay.
Hi Lakshman, Santosh here.
Yeah, please.
Is that process is only for the implementation, or it will be same applied to upgrade as well? I mean, the whatever we are following right now.
Yeah. See, this at the time of implementation only we create all this. When it comes to upgrade, if you are going to upgrade the system from one version to another version, whatever we have as of now, the same will be upgraded. Okay, during the upgrade you cannot change these things. As it is, we have to upgrade. When you upgrade, maybe some additional features and etc. Few other reasons, some bug fixing, maybe system is very smooth, etc. For those reasons, you can upgrade from one version to another version or one release to another release. The same is applicable. At the time of implementation, what we do, the same is applicable when client is going to use at the time of support or at the time of upgrade, or you call anything. So the same is applicable. This is applicable always. Simple.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, sorry, Lakshman, coming to the same adjustment period, let us say already financial period is over, and after that, we do some transactions, those will be posted in the adjustment
Wrong.
period.
That is wrong. Finance
Okay.
not completed. You are about to close the financial year. You are end of the December. Okay, or end of the December. You are about to close that financial year. End of that period, there is no some clarity on certain transactions. You have some amounts and you have to pay something. There are maybe some bad debts, this and that. There is no clarity on certain amounts, what you have to pay or what you have received. Those transactions you can enter into the adjustment period. Once you enter into the next year, next financial year, first period means Jan, for example, then these you have to realize and you have to enter into those periods by finalizing for a very temporary purpose, maybe 1 day or 2 days or for 1 week. You may keep those entries in this adjustment period. That's all. Maybe 1 day. Okay, when you're closing the books, you need to finalize the certain titles for those for a very temporary purpose. Before you switch into the next financial year, you may maintain few transactions which there is no clarity about those amounts in this. Once you move to the next financial year, in the adjustment period, whatever the transactions you have to get clarity. You should not leave them in the adjustment period. For those, you will reverse it. You will close them. You will take it forward to the next financial year first period with certain details. This amount is belongs to this account, that amount is belongs to so and so account. This is how at least you have to identify and you have to enter. This is for very, very temporary purpose.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now let's see how to create it. Just we given required inputs. We'll discuss on this, but let's move to the next step on this. So
Lakshman, one final question around this.
No, we'll discuss once. Don't mind, please. Don't mind.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Just click on next. It will create the periods automatically for entire year. It will create. See, it created. We didn't do anything. Just you have to click on next. It created. So this is the name we given. This is the description we given. Start date. This is the date we given. Period frequency we given monthly. Adjustment periods once at year end. Now you can see the periods created automatically. So when you give monthly, how many periods per year? 12. It created 12. You can see the count. Period number 1 to 12. And it created 13. Why? We given adjustment period. Once at year end. Okay, per year 1, that to end of the year. Created 13. It is marking very clearly this period is adjustment period. Adjusting period means additional period. Remaining all periods are actual periods. These are not adjustment periods. Remember this terminology. Adjustment period, remaining all are actual periods. So 12 actual periods, 1 adjustment period. This is our system created. Now I will say save and close. We will discuss any questions. Give me some time. Just say save and close. System generated periods. We are going to save the same. After saving this, what system will do is it will allow us to create the periods for future years also with one click. Just with a single click, for each single click, it will create periods for 1 year. As of now, you don't see any tab here to create the periods for additional years. Okay, once you save and close, and once you come back to the same accounting calendar, you will have a tab called as generate periods for next year. So that's how you will be able to generate the periods. Now system is taking time, like it is validating. What system will do is periods are generated by system. System knows very well which period starts with which date and which period ends with which date. Of course, every period starts with the first only, but ending could be different. Okay, 30th, 31st, 29, 28. So depending on that year and period, so that could be changed. So now system will validate. Once you click on save and close, system will validate and it will verify. If anything wrong, it will display the information. It will give the message also warning saying that the periods are overlapping, there is a gap in the period. Of course, system created this accounting calendar. You or me can change this date range. Okay, instead of 31st, I may change to 30. System will identify and it will give a message for that. But anyway, we never do that by going and changing. So Oracle did the programming. They written the programming. So based on start date for that year, for each and every period, what should be that start date, end date, everything just they calculate, they written as a programming. So that system will take care. We should not touch that period names, etc. Okay, period names or period date range we should not touch. Now we'll search for our accounting calendar, whatever we created. We created with the name called as XYZ INC. Okay, here there is no tab to search. Directly you can use enter from the keyboard. Enter. It is displaying. Now let's open and see the information what is there inside of it. You can click on this name. For name they are providing hyperlink. You can click on this. If you don't want to click on this name, you can click on edit icon. You just first select this record, click on edit. So whatever the accounting calendar we created, you could see here. Now you can see one additional tab called as add year. If you just click on add year, automatically system will create the periods for next year. Okay, the current year, whatever we created periods for 2021. Just with one click, you can add the periods for next year. Okay, as of now we have these periods. Now let's add periods for next year. Just click on add year, added. You could see now. If you scroll, it is showing 2022. Jan 22, 22, 22. And now you can save it. Once you generate the periods, save it. Okay. So you can save it. Those would be available to record the transactions. Anyway, whenever you record the transaction, in which period we are recording the transaction, we can select that period and system will select the date automatically. If you want to change the date, you can change. If you want to change the period, you can change. When we have to do that and really we have to do or not, those points we'll discuss when we record the transactions. So these are the points we have to understand about accounting calendar. Always we create accounting calendar based on the country financial year. Blindly you can create the accounting calendar by looking at the country financial year. You are working for so and so country. In that country, their financial year starts with August 1st. Yes, enter starting period, starting date as August 1st. Then system will create accounting calendar for that country. We don't need to take care of anything. So these are the points we have to understand. Anyway, it will just save and it will display all the periods. Let's wait for some time. Meantime, any questions from anyone, please? Meantime, any questions, please?
Last question, Mr. Lakshman. Regarding the adjustment period. The entries which have been entered into the adjustment period never been seen in reports or anywhere else, right?
Yeah, ideally it is not for reporting. Yes, if you want to see in the reports, yes, you can see that. You want to generate as per adjustment period, what information we have for which accounts we have, etc., etc. Yes, that you can do that. But ideally, that is not for that purpose. It's a very temporary purpose. So instead of simple point, I'll tell you, instead of writing the certain details in the outside of the system, to maintain in the system only those details also for a temporary purpose, we use adjustment period. Say you have a 4 transaction where there is no clarity, where you want to maintain those. You may maintain outside of the system in some book by planning. Maybe tomorrow I will enter in the system in the respective period after speaking with accountants, etc., finance team, so and so. So temporarily, instead of maintaining in the outside of the system, you can maintain in the system within the system only by using the adjustment period. That's all.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions, please?
Yeah, hi Lakshman. This is Salim.
Please.
So pertains to adjusting period frequency. So will that be specified with the client or only for sake of internal purpose that we will create?
Ideally, it is monthly.
Keep
Ideally, it is monthly for any business. If it is banking, they always go with the concept called as average balances. Along with accounting calendar, we'll create additional calendar also. The transaction calendar, we call it, to calculate the average balances only when you do the implementation for banks. That's all.
Got it, Lakshman. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions here, please?
Hello, Lakshman.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Manoj.
Yeah, please, Manoj.
Hello, sir. Actually, suppose we have created 12 periods from April to March, and we have one adjustment period 13. Okay. So suppose some GL balances, one or two GL code, I put some some entries I identified and keep it in adjustment on 13 period. Okay. So in the April, in the 22 year, so that opening balance will come, that will reflect, that will net off this March minus adjustment period. That will only my opening balance in April 22, right?
For that, we'll have year-end process. Okay. For that, we have year-end process. What we have to do is, ideally, these we will reverse it. That is just for a temporary. Clearly, I'm mentioning, instead of maintaining those in some book outside of the system, we will just maintain in that period for a temporary purpose. That is not for some accounting. That is not for some reporting and all. Okay. That totally you have to ignore. Or else,
okay, means the the balance whatever showing in the March, that will only show in my April.
Sorry,
the closing balance of March, the balance is showing in the
I'll tell
March.
you one point. First of all, there is no clarity about it. Okay. The entries what you are entering, there is no clarity on that. How you can take that as opening? That you have to totally ignore. Just for a temporary purpose, you can maintain, and you can just later you can convert it to the real accounts after identifying.
Yeah. Okay, we can temporarily parking some entries in that adjustment period like this.
Yes, it's very temporary, but maybe for 1 day or 2 days. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Done. Yeah. So say save and close. Okay. So I'm going to open once again. I'm clicking on that same name hyperlink. Now you can see periods are available for 2021 and 2022. If you want to see all periods which are belongs to all the years, you can check here. So just scroll it till down. Done. So this is how we can create the accounting calendar. You also please try from your end. Any questions we'll discuss. Hope the questions what we discuss, that is good enough. Still any questions, no issues. Because these are very beginning, many questions, we have to respect everything. Yeah.
Hello, Lakshman sir. One more quick question.
Yeah.
Actually, suppose we have initially doing the implementation, we have defined 12 periods, but post implementation, like business like request us to add one more adjustment period. So, shall
Not
we?
possible. It's a one-time decision. Okay. So that is the reason I suggested like how many they need. If they says no, also you suggest one. I said if they says two, I'm not recommending you to say like better you can go with the two. Ideally, one is enough. Okay. So once you create accounting calendar, once you start recording the business transaction, you cannot change anything. You cannot change the period type, or you cannot change the start date. You cannot change something else. If you want to add an adjustment period, no. If you don't want to use adjustment periods, anyway, there you can just disable it. That's how you can do, but you cannot change whatever you created. Now we will go to our accounting calendar. Once again, I'll take you to the same accounting calendar. You can see there, you can understand by looking at the same. Manage accounting calendars. Click on go to task icon. Search for our accounting calendar, XYZ. Enter from keyboard, use enter key. Click on the name because it got hyperlink. Now you see here the start date what you given, this is freezed, you cannot change. The period frequency what we given, that is freezed. Okay, the adjustment period frequency what we given, it's freezed. Based on these inputs only, the below information will get displayed. If you want to change the name, you can change. If you want to change the description, you can change. If you want to change the period format, how the format need to be displayed, you can change. Rest you cannot change, nothing. So this is one-time definition. Okay, you have to be very careful. You have to take the final decision, how to go about it, and you have to do that. This is what we have to understand. So that's all about accounting calendar. Okay, that's all about accounting calendar. So when you create any transaction in the system, we have to capture the date. If you have accounting calendar is ready, within that accounting calendar, you can have a date and you can have a period and you can have year, quarters, etc. etc. Everything you can have within the accounting calendar. So we'll talk about description after some time. Now let's focus on amount. Okay, amount. Fine.
Lakshman, one last question on this.
So
can we delete once we create that?
Anybody saying something?
Lakshman Shiva here.
No.
Hello?
Yeah, please.
Once we create this accounting period, can we delete that? Is there any option?
No. Once accounting period, not we are talking about accounting calendar, I guess, right? Accounting calendar. Yeah. No. See here, the point is we are not going to use it directly from here only. After that, we'll create something else. We will include this into that. That level you cannot delete it. You will come to know. Okay. See, simple. You created accounting calendar. You don't want it. Create one more. No issues. But once you start using this accounting calendar, you cannot change whatever you start. That you will understand. But for now, if you want whatever you created, you cannot change. If you want to create one more, you can create it. But once you start using this accounting calendar, you cannot do anything. Okay. Now you created by mistake something you entered wrong. Immediately you realized, okay, you create one more. The new one, whatever you created with the correct information, you can start using. That is one case. Other cases, you created something, you did some mistake, but you started using that. You cannot change anything. Okay. If you want to change something, you have to raise SR, service request to Oracle. They may help you, may not help you, because this is very basic thing, very fundamental thing where we did some mistake. So it totally depends.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Done. That's all about date. If you want to capture the dates or periods within the system when you record the transactions or when you are going to generate the reports, the dates and the periods are required. All those you can maintain by creating accounting calendar. When you create accounting calendar, we have to remember 3 points. One is financial year for that country, and period type ideally monthly only, but you have to take as a point, and adjustment periods. Okay, based on financial year, we have to create accounting calendar. The period type, we have period frequency, we ideally use monthly, and adjustment period to pass adjustment entries. When we close the books, we have to go for adjustment period. It's not mandatory. At least we have to suggest to client have one adjustment period. Even they says no, we have to suggest as a consultant. And next point is amount. We'll talk about description after some time. Now we'll focus on amount. When you record any transaction, say so and so date you are recording the transaction, description is so and so you purchased or you sold, and amount you have to enter in each transaction. So when you enter amount, how you will enter amount? Say I'll enter amount like this: 2,510. So what amounts these are? By looking at this, you cannot understand anything. You cannot understand. 2,000 is what? 500 is what? Whether these are rupees or dollars or dinars or what exactly. So there should be some specification. Okay, here I'll enter 200. Okay, here I'll enter 10,000. Now, if I write in one transaction on so and so date, okay, I purchase a laptop, and if I write 2,000 or 10,000, what you can understand? If it is individual transaction, yes, we'll have a clarity. Say you are in US, if you are writing something 1,000, yes, ideally that is dollars. If you are in India and you spend something, if you just make a note on so and so date, I purchase so and so, the price is 500. Yeah, definitely those are rupees. But when it comes to the organization nowadays, you could see like there will be operations like where they are doing global operations. Even companies located in some country, they have a customers and suppliers in different countries. So that means when we are going to enter the transaction, the system, definitely we have to address that amount is belongs to which currency. Okay. So when you are entering the amounts, you should address that amount with a specific currency. If I enter 2,000, that is rupees or dollars or pounds, we have to enter. Then only we'll get some clarity on that, and that we can use for reporting. So we have to specify each and every amounts which you are entering in the system with a specific currency. The 2,000, if I don't specify, what is that? No clarity. That is the reason what we have to do is when we are entering that, we have to enter the 2,000 is say INR rupees. 500 may be USD. Okay. 10 may be AED. Okay. So this is how just we have to address with each and everything. Say for example, 2,000 is INR, 500 is USD, 10 is AED. Then what about 200? Yes, 200 also may be USD or INR. I should write on that face. Then only anyone can understand. But sometimes whatever I enter this amounts in the system that may not represent with the currency. That may not be, this is all like INR, USD, AED. What are those? Those all are currency measurements based on the country. Country-wise currency measurements. In India, how we measure the currency in rupees. In US, how they measure the currency with the dollars. Okay. So that's how in each and every country, there is a currency measurement. Okay, as per country currency measurement, we have to represent when we record the transactions. But these all are currency measurement. That means monetary values, monetary measurements, currency measurements. There are certain information which is non-monetary related information. The 200, whatever I am entering, this may not be belongs to currency. It may be something else. What could be that? Maybe in cricket, these are the runs. Okay. So this 10,000 whatever I enter, those may be liters or kilograms or square feet or meters or maybe marks. Could be anything. Now can you say 200 is currency? No. 10,000 is currency? No, those are not at all related to currency. So the above three, INR, USD, AED, or take any other currency, these are monetary measurements. The below runs, marks, these are not related to monetary measurements, non-monetary measurements. Non-monetary measurements. Okay, non-monetary measurements. So monetary measurements, non-monetary measurements. Monetary measurements, which talks about currency. Non-monetary means other than currency. I will take another chat. Okay, I think somebody is speaking. Yeah, we'll talk on that. If you have any questions, I'll take and we'll discuss few points. Let me explain. So now I'm taking monetary measurements only: rupees, dollars, and dinars. So here, say I'm doing the business in India. I'm doing the business in India. If I'm doing the business in India, what is the local currency in India? INR. Now, if I'm doing the business in India, okay, if I'm running my business in India, local currency is INR. So this, I'll call it a local currency, right? I'm writing the same. I am operating my business in India. In India, local currency is INR. So in each country, wherever you are running the business, that currency, the local currency, we call as functional currency. Say you are running the business in India. What is the local currency in India? INR. Now I can say INR is my functional currency. I'm doing the business in US. What is the local currency in US? USD. I'll say USD is my functional currency. Now I am doing business only in India. I'm doing my business only in India. What is my local currency? INR. I'm not doing business in US. If I'm doing the business in US also, USD is also my local currency that I can call as functional currency. If I'm doing business only in India, always my functional currency is INR. Other than our functional currency, that means other than our local currency, wherever we are doing the business, all currencies we call as foreign currencies. Remember this point. Okay, I'm doing business only in India, but I have my suppliers in US. Okay, I purchase from US suppliers. I may have customers in US, but where I am doing my business in India, I have my business operations in India. So in India, whatever the currency we have, that is our local currency, we call as functional currency. So wherever we are not dealing with, wherever we don't have business, but still you have some business transactions with suppliers and customers, those currencies we call as foreign currencies. So if you are doing the business only in India, if you record the transaction in USD, that you call as foreign currency. Okay. So functional currency, foreign currency. This is the point you have to understand. Ideally, the currencies are classified to two types: functional currency and a foreign currency. Now you are running the business in India. Okay, you are running the business in India. What is your functional currency? INR. You are running the business in US. What is your functional currency? USD. You are doing the business in UAE. What is your functional currency? AED. And you are doing the business only in US. Only in US. What is your functional currency? USD. What about other currencies? Other than your functional currency, all currencies we call as foreign currencies. Okay. You are doing the business in three countries: India, US, and UAE. Now for India, INR is the functional. But for India, USD is the foreign. For US, USD is the functional. For US, INR is the foreign and AED is the foreign. For UAE, AED is the functional. Other than AED, all other country currencies are foreign. So this is the point you have to understand. And one more point here. Now the currencies where you are doing the business, that country currency we call as functional currency. All other currencies we call as foreign currency. When you do the business in India, most of the business transaction definitely you do with functional currency, that means INR, and you may do the transactions in foreign currencies also. You may have suppliers and customers in different countries. In that case, definitely you will record the transactions in foreign currency. When you record the transaction in foreign currency, how to deal with that we'll discuss later. For now, we have to understand the points as currencies are classified to two types. One is functional, nothing but local. The other one is foreign. Okay, wherever you are running the business, that country currency we call as functional currency. All other country currencies we call as foreign currencies. Now, what about these runs and marks? These are not currencies. But what Oracle says is, let's call these measurements also currencies. And these runs, marks, kilograms, square feet, etc., etc. These all are statistical information. These all are statistical information. From statistical, they taken prefix as a stat. In statistical term, prefix, first 4 letters they are taking and they are naming it as stat currency. Really, this is a currency? No, this is not at all related to currency, but when we enter in the system, okay, that we have to record as a stat currency. There is separate concept related to stat currency. Only one concept we have, there only we use stat currency. Now don't think about it. Simple point. If you enter some amounts in the system, if you enter INR and if you are doing the business in India, that is a functional currency. If you enter in the system some amount and if you enter currency other than your local currency, that is a foreign currency. If you enter some amounts in the system and if you mark it as those are runs, those are marks, those are kilograms and all, that you have to call as a stat currency. That is not a real currency. But what Oracle says is, let's call it as a currency since amounts always we represent with a currency that could be functional or foreign. If that is not functional or foreign, ideally that is non-monetary measurements, statistical information. Let's call it as a stat currency. We have only one concept which is related to stat currency. When we are dealing with that concept, we will understand about it. Now don't try to understand. No questions on that, please. We will see that. For now, simple point you can take. We have 3 type of currencies: functional, foreign and stat. Functional means country local currency. Foreign means other than local currency, all currencies are foreign. Stat currency, that is not a reality currency, but statistical informations when we enter in the system, that we treat as a stat currency. The examples and reality we'll see in the system where we can deal with the stat currency. So these are the few points we have to understand. Any questions on this, please?
Reporting currency, so that concept is no more, you were saying?
See, in EBS we use reporting currency. That is not a currency. In which currency you want to report, that we call as reporting currency. That could be any currency. That is not.
Yeah, that's correct.
Currencies.
What I mean is
Concept.
like my precise.
No, see,
Yeah,
simple.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are doing the business in India. Then what is your currency? INR, right?
Right.
I want to generate the report. I want to inform the India business transactions in USD. That means in foreign currency. That only you will reporting currency. USD will become your foreign. We'll understand. Since you are referring EBS, my simple answer is yes, the same concept we have, but that is not type of currency. Currency classification.
You're right. Yeah. So basically the concept is foreign, any country apart from the functional currency is foreign currency.
Yes, exactly. Reporting currency can be your functional or foreign or anything. Okay. You may report in.
Yeah, maybe when you explain multi-country scenario, we may discuss on that.
When we explain multi-country?
Let's assume a US-based company have multiple subsidiaries in India and Europe.
Okay.
So how the reporting happens? So that way.
We'll discuss that. We have a different concept, MRC, multiple reporting currencies. Okay, translation.
Yeah.
There we'll discuss all those points. But to understand the type of currencies, only these 3. Those are the concepts. Those works with these types only. When you do reporting,
Yeah, thank
you
you.
may do reporting in functional or you may do reporting in foreign. Why we do in functional only, foreign only? There are several reasons. All we will discuss and we'll work on it. But type of currencies are these three only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Lakshman.
Please. Please go ahead. I'm sorry, nobody's saying something.
Yeah, hi Lakshman. The question here is like, here we referred while saying local, right? So we're referring local is based out of the client based out country, right?
Correct. Functional currency.
Thank you.
Let's call it as functional. Just to
Yeah, functional.
give you the term
That is based out of.
I just represented with the local. We never call it as local,
Yeah.
but for our understanding, I use the term. Now simply you can say functional.
Yeah, got it, Lakshman. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Any other questions here, please? Right, great. No.
Hello, Lakshman sir. This is Manoj.
Please.
I think the third currency, what you have mentioned, that is start currency.
Correct.
So if you pass any journal with the start currency, there is no impact in the ledger, right?
Correct. Exactly. You never maintain ledgers with the stat and all. This is just for some calculation purpose only. As intermediate step.
Okay. I think EBS we are using for mass allocations, right?
Here also same.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Same purpose. Yeah, we'll work on that. That is the reason I don't want to create some confusion for the few guys. So just I'm introducing, these are the three types. We will work on these three. We'll work on these three so that it would be more clear for us. Done. Other questions? Okay, no questions. So we discussed about accounting calendar. As per the country financial year, we have to create. And we have seen how to create. When it comes to currency, okay, we are talking about amounts, but the amounts what we create in the system, those need to be represented with the currencies. Okay, this is the point. Currency. So here everything we have to represent with the currency. The first one is calendar, the second point is currency to represent the amounts. So calendar we have to create based on the country financial year, which format they require, how many adjustments they required, what is the period type, how the name required, etc. We can go with our own specifications. You can input, system will generate. Future years also, it will create the periods with one click. That already we have seen. Now when it comes to currencies, we no need to create the currencies. Remember, calendar we have to create how we require, but currencies we no need to create. See, in India, currency means INR only. There is nothing we create based on the company or based on something else. So India means just everybody has to follow that local currency, that is INR. So that Oracle knows very well how you are going to create the calendar, what name you want to give, how many adjustment periods you need. Oracle cannot guess. Okay, even they create and they give you some calendar, you may say no, I don't need that, I need different one. You may create, like that is the reason Oracle is not providing any calendars as a predefined. They are not creating, they are not giving, they are saying whatever you need, you create it. But when it comes to currencies, you cannot say I need currency name with this so and so prefix suffix. No, that goes wrong. So everybody has to follow the unique naming convention and all. That is the reason all country currency names are fixed. That is the reason what Oracle is doing is Oracle is providing all the currencies in the instance. When you take the subscription from Oracle, you no need to create any currencies in the system. All currencies are available. But only one point we have to verify. Whatever the currencies we require, those are enabled in the instance or not, we have to verify. Okay, there will be one checkbox called as enabling. Whatever the currencies are enabled, those only will be available to use in the transaction creation time. Okay, when I enter 100, I have to select 100 is what? rupees or dollars or what exactly, how to specify. If I want to see that INR or USD or AED during the transaction creation, the currency should be enabled. Okay, so the simple point is we no need to create any currencies. Okay, never create currencies in the system. The reason Oracle is providing all the currencies, so just those we have to enable and we have to use. In EBS also Oracle is providing all currencies, but we have to enable if you want to use. But in the Fusion, Oracle is providing all currencies by enabling. You no need to enable. Okay, your direct point is all currencies Oracle is providing, and by enabling they are providing, we no need to anything directly we can use. We'll go and see now where we can find all the currencies, whether all are enabled by Oracle or not. We will check those points. Yep. So what is this? Fine. Search for currencies. You don't need to type the full name. Just you can type some text. You will get it. So here you could see the task name. I just typed current. Okay. So here you can see the name as manage currencies. Okay. Again, one more task we have as manage currency. You can select any one of the tasks. Both will take us to same page. Okay. Both will navigate us to same page. Manage currencies, manage currencies. Click on manage currencies. Okay, click on go to task icon. Okay, done. Here you can find any currency. You can search for the currency. I'll repeat the navigation once again. From project only we are searching. This is our implementation project. Click on this. Search for currencies. How can you know these names and all? Once you go through these classes, even you will aware of this and you can search. Okay, you don't need to think, okay, these all are new and all. Just once we go through, you'll be able to search accounting calendar. You can just know how to search calendar, etc., whatever we are going to do. But you have to spend more time. Okay, spend more time to read and remember and practice so that things will become very smooth. So search for currencies. So by attending these classes, you cannot learn anything. By spending time practicing, make a note, make a just running note, and whatever I can write, I am writing in this spreadsheet wherever it is applicable. But everything I cannot write, please have a pen and paper and just start writing the points, what we are discussing, which I am not writing in the spreadsheet. What in your own way you can write. That will help you a lot. If you understand the concept, not enough. Tomorrow you will be able to explain to others. So this is the task we have to use, manage currencies. Click on manage currencies. So the same task, manage currencies we have here. Click on go to task icon. Here you can find any currency. Say we want to find INR. Search for INR. Click on search. Here you can see the currency code. The currency code is INR. Currency name is Indian rupee. Description is Indian rupee. You can notice here enabled. Okay, it's enabled. You can see it's enabled. If it is enabled, if the checkbox is enabled, then only it would be available. Here you have a start date and end date. Generally, we don't use this. Say, for example, I'm giving start date today, end date maybe this month end. That means I want to use this currency up to this month end only. Nowhere you see these scenarios, but they given some flexibility. If I give end date today, that means I'll give end date today only. That means this currency won't be available from today to use. Or else instead of giving this end date, I can disable so that it won't be available. For that purpose they given. Ideally what we do is if required currency is required, we'll enable, otherwise we'll disable. We don't go with the start dates and end dates, really not required. If you want to set, yes, you can set that flexibility we have. Now, if you want to see more details about this currency, here you can click on this expand. Click on expand this record. You could see all the details, issuing territory, this currency belongs to which country, and the symbol if you want to represent precision after dot, like how many precisions it has to display. So this is all information you can see. But anyway, you no need to do anything here. You no need to do anything. Everything Oracle is providing, you can use it. See, I'll search for USD. So USD, currency code is USD, currency name is US dollar, and description also same, it is enabled. No need to set start dates and end dates. And one more point, within single instance only you can have this single value. USD means even if you are going to, if 100 people are going to practice on the instance, 100 people wants to use this USD currency, same value. So for that reason, for your practice purpose, don't disable. For your practice purpose, don't give end date. Your practice purpose, don't change the names. That is my request. So everybody are going to access the same values. So please think about others also. If you are practicing, it is not like just you are practicing, others also practicing same time. And one more request from my end. As of now, I'm using the name called as XYZINC for our discussion purpose. You please don't use this name. It will create a lot of confusion. It will create some mess when we practice for you and me also. So you go with please other names. Okay, please use other names. Whatever I'm using in our class, you please don't try with those names. The reason I'm using the same instance what you are using for practice. Yep, done. Now once again, we'll go back to the same page. Manage currencies. Now click on search. You could see all the currencies. You see here all the currencies. Just scroll. This is all Oracle is providing. We no need to create. Okay. This is how you can find. Sometimes it's very, very rare cases, but ideally always Oracle will make sure that all currency values are available. Say you are implementing for so-and-so country. Okay. It is something like some unknown country for many people. Many people are not aware of the countries exist. In those such kind of scenarios, the currency value may not be available in instance. In those scenarios, you can create. How to create? Click on new. Okay, just click on new. Here it is adding the row. Now you can enter. Say the currency name which is not available in the system is say ERP. Just for testing purpose, I'm entering. Okay. This is how I can enter. I can say save. So this currency also would be available. Okay, when you are practicing, you please don't enter the currency names. You can practice, but use some unique names. Don't enter INR, your name, USD, your name. So when some people are searching for USD, USD will come and your own currencies also will come. Don't just mix the real currency names with this your name. This is how you can create. You may create one currency called as XYZ, ABC, or some DLF, this and that. You can create like that. Maybe for your practice purpose, but you don't need to practice those things. Just for information, I'm taking you through these details also. So creating currency and all, you don't need to practice. Just you have to understand these points. Now you don't need to create any currencies. You don't need to do anything. All currencies Oracle is providing. Only you have to make sure that you have to, those are enabled. When you are practicing, at least what you can do is to navigate to this page. Go to manage currencies, search for INR, search for expand, and just look into that. That's all. That is your experience. That will become your experience. By understanding this point, okay, we no need to create any currencies. We no need to enable any currencies. By understanding that point, if you don't navigate to this page, it is very new for you. Please navigate what we are doing in the class. At least go to that page. What we have to do it. If we no need to do anything, leave it. No issues. But navigate and just go through that page. That would be great information always. Yeah. So
hello Lakshman sir.
Please.
Sir, can you get the history, like who was created, who updated the in Fusion?
Yeah, in Fusion, for certain areas, certain records only they are giving. Okay. So certain records only they are giving. So wherever it is applicable, I'll show you. Here in view, certain things they'll give you. So about this record, but not for all the records. Your question is like in EBS, we can see that who created,
Yes, sir.
who updated, when it got created, where that information can get stored. It could be table or view, right? So those are all not available in the Fusion, unfortunately. We don't know the great reason. Okay, for few things only they are giving this. You can see here created by, these currencies are created by this user. This user is nothing but system user. Oracle automatically they generated. Last updated by this user only. Okay, so that's it. When created, when updated. That's all. At least for
Hi
we are
Lakshman.
able to see this. For many records, this information also won't be available. We'll see that going forward. Yeah, please.
Yeah, hi Lakshman. One question here. So as this is the test instance, so we are not going to give any kind of start and end dates. But what would be the case for real-time projects? So what are the end dates and the start dates, that we use? Are those going to be the
Not
project
required,
start
not
and
required.
so
Say simple. In one country, you have only one supplier. Okay. In so and so country, you have only one supplier. You stop doing the business with that supplier. Then you don't need that country currency nowhere to display in your transaction process, right?
yes.
And then simply you can end it. Otherwise, unnecessarily it will get displayed when users are trying to select the currencies. Where you are dealing with the 10 currencies. When user will go to certain field, the 10 currencies only should be available there so that easily they can pick. Say you have a 250 currencies total in the system. So when we are dealing with the 10 currencies, always good, you can display those 10 only. The transactions belongs to which currency user can select. If you don't control those by disabling or by giving end date for remaining all, like you are using 10 total, 250 are there. If you don't disable or if you don't give end date for remaining 240, user has to select a single currency from 240 currencies, 250 currencies. That's a big job for them, right? Unless
Yeah, got it.
yeah, those scenarios you can do that.
Got it, Lakshman. Thank you.
Yeah. As a best practice, I'll tell you one point. So when you do the implementation, what are the currencies we are going to use for that client? Maybe in that country, what currency, in which, what are the other foreign currency client required? Apart from that, all currencies you go and disable it so that users cannot have access since they don't require. One time you can do that. In future, they are going to use some new currency. Then come and just enable here so that that would be available. They can record the transactions. So in EBS, all Oracle is disabling. Whatever we require, we enable. But unfortunately here, all they are enabling and giving, even we don't need. So we have to disable what we don't need. That's all.
Got it, Lakshman. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Lakshman, couple of questions.
Yeah, please.
See, basically, when you're talking about the calendar and currency, this is project specific, right?
When you talk about currency, it is not project specific. It is a country specific. When you talk about calendar, it is a country specific. Both are country specific.
Yeah, I mean, no, what I mean to say, ask is, if you want to reuse the calendar and this thing for the multiple projects for the same enterprise, can that be possible?
You can use it. We will understand how to reuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And second question is, when you're talking about the currency, let us say my transactions are posted in INR, Mr. Lakshman.
Yeah.
Suppose if you want to report them in USD, will system take care of conversion?
Yeah, it will take. Yes. How to set up the conversion. That concept also we are going to handle in our classes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
We have to define the exchange rates between those two currencies, between INR and USD. Whenever you enter the transaction INR, automatically it will convert.
Okay, it means it looks into the standard exchange rate of the time. I mean,
correct. Okay. Which date you are recording the transaction, for that date, what is rate applicable, it will look at, and accordingly it will convert.
So, recorded transaction, recorded the rate, not reported.
When you are entering, When we are entry you are doing, what is the rate today? Accordingly it will convert. You are entering tomorrow. What is the rate for tomorrow? Accordingly it will convert.
Oh, not at the reporting date.
Reporting date, see, when you are reporting, that there are the scenarios. Okay, you are reporting, when you want to report accordingly, you can have one concept. That is a reporting currency. That is a separate concept. We will see that. It's all about when you are dealing with the different currencies, foreign currency, how to manage, you want to understand, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In different applications, I'm going to cover that. In general ledger application, payables, receivables, how we can deal with this sort of transactions. We have all the concepts we are going to cover. I included all that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, no questions. Let me just give you a point here, then we'll proceed with the questions. Please don't mind. We're done for today. If you want to stay back, you can stay back to ask the questions or to involve in the discussions. And one more point is, tomorrow we are going to talk about this topic. Okay, description. It's very, very important, which we have to understand. Okay, the entire implementation will depends on this point only. If you go with this in proper way, implementation will be successful. Otherwise, whole implementation will be failed. Okay, the transaction description will decide everything. So try to be available in the tomorrow session. With some reason, if you are planning not to be available, try to be available. That's my request. It's very, very important what we are going to discuss tomorrow. Yeah, we're done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back or else you can drop from the meeting. Thank you all. Have a good day and good night. See you tomorrow. Any questions, please?
Yeah, hi,
So Lakshman.
Please.
Hello.
Yeah,
Lakshman. Yeah, hi. You have shows like one example for the calendar, like that is January to December. Just can you please show us one more example? Hello.
Sorry. Others, please go on mute. Okay, when somebody is speaking, please, my request is please go on mute. Yeah, you can go ahead. You can unmute and you can go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, Lakshman. So you have shown us one example in the calendar, like that is January to December. Can you please show us one more example, like for example, the entity is incorporated in US, and if they are following the calendar year as a June, for example, June 2021 to July 2022. If that is the case,
One second. When they incorporated, that is not a matter. Okay. Yeah. When they incorporated, that is not a matter. What is the finance rate of that country? That only we have to follow. Say they incorporated in, say October month only. Okay, the incorporation is October. But you have to create accounting calendar for entire year. From when they want to record the transaction, they can use it accordingly. Okay, incorporation date is not mandatory for us. When you define the calendar in the system, the entire financial year we have to define. We never create accounting calendar creation based on the company incorporation date, etc. That is not a point for this.
Yeah. Okay, Lakshman. So if the company is following the calendar year for from June to July, then how we can create the calendar year?
You give like 1st June 2020, then it will create automatically.
Okay, Lakshman.
Starting date I given, right? Starting date what I given? 1st Jan 2021, right? Then it created for entire year. The same way you give 1st April 2021, like 1st June 2021. Then rest it will create automatically. It knows.
Okay, Lakshman. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions?
Yeah, Lakshman, I was asking last week you told like you'll be sending the previous week's data. I mean all the recordings and the information, so I can refer them, please.
Yeah. Sorry, that's the same I was addressing in the beginning of the class. Okay, the instance and videos, the guys who are from the previous batches or who paid before starting this batch, for them I'll be sharing today without any further delay. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, please. Any other questions, please?
Mr. Lakshman.
Yeah.
Hello.
Please.
Yeah, I'm not able to log in the system. Same FA student.
No. It's working fine, right? Yesterday I shared this instance. Yesterday, not maybe
Yesterday.
Okay, instance I shared day before yesterday. You check one.
It is going only to the. It is bringing me only the approvals.
Hey, no.
It's not bringing.
No. One second. That means no approvals. How it will take you? Not possible. One second. Let me check. It is working for others, even for me also.
Am I doing some mistake?
I'm not sure. Maybe some might have did some mistake. That is, they might have removed the roles for the FA user. Let's see.
FA.student.
Yeah. I'm checking. Maybe somebody might have removed the roles. Correct. Somebody just see some custom role, something they assigned. This may be the reason you are not able to. One second. Please don't play with this what I am providing. See, this is what somebody added. I'm removing that. It should be IT security manager. That's all. Somebody added this. In this, they might have removed all the privileges. This is the one we required, which Oracle is providing. Okay. Please use this FA user only for your user creation. Okay. Don't use this to change something, etc., etc. Okay. Don't change the password for that. Already the complete information I given in the email. When you just get instance access, you will see all the details. Please follow the same. Now you can try, it will work for you. I'm sorry for that. Somebody.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions here, please? See, we'll have a
couple of questions today. Couple of questions, Mr. Lakshman.
We'll have very regular classes from today. Due to the festival and all, we got some break, 3-4 days. Not have sessions in between weekend. So overall, like 5 days, I guess we could not have sessions. We'll have very regular.
Lakshman.
Please.
Lakshman, this is Jessica.
Yeah.
I need to discuss something, but could you please arrange a call at 11 a.m. Now I need to log in.
Sure.
I already asked Syed. Shall I call you like at 11 a.m.?
Sure. You are in touch with Saida, right?
Yes, but he is not responding to my calls from yesterday onwards.
I'll call him. Maybe.
Today he pinged me. So will you call me at 11 a.m.?
I'll talk to him. I'll ask him to connect at 11 o'clock India time. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Lakshman.
Yeah, please.
Adding to this earlier student, when we are calling to Saida, he is not responding.
Oh, great.
We are feeling
I should talk to him. I'm really sorry for that.
And the second thing,
yeah. Your good name?
And the second thing, Bhanu Prakash.
Sorry?
Bhanu, BHANU.
Okay, Bhanu Prakash.
PRAKASH. Yes, I didn't receive the access also, shared access also.
Yeah, that will do from my end. That is pending from my end. Okay.
And second thing, Lakshman, do we have any alternate contact instead of Saida?
Yeah, I'll provide. First, I'll talk to him. If the same issue is going to be, then I'll just give you some other contact. I'll fix it. That should not be there. I should change person, not the contact number if required. Yeah.
Why? Because last time
I got it. I can understand totally. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. I'll talk to him. Seriously, I'll take this point. Yeah.
I think you got that point from my end.
Yeah. I'll take care of it.
Thanks a lot.
I'll talk to him. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks.
Hello, Mr. Lakshman. A couple of questions.
Please.
Yeah, when there is a change in the instance, I need to create again the user and the project, everything.
Yeah, when there is some change, we have to create. But going forward, I'm going to take you through rapid implementation. You can put the data in the spreadsheet. If any issues with instance, if you are going to change instance, you can submit the sheet. All the setups should be ready. You don't need to create these calendars. You don't need to create currency part, etc. All the setups with a single click you can load. But as of now, these 2 points. user creation, project creation, which takes maybe 5 minutes job. You have to create for now. Going forward, you won't have these issues. We'll come across with a rapid implementation. Okay, sheet.
Oh, wonderful.
Use whenever
Yeah.
there is some change in instance.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And coming to the videos,
Yeah.
last week I had the access to the videos folder, but right now it's showing empty.
Great. Somebody deleted, I guess. This is what our guys are doing. Yeah, I'll upload once again into that. Yeah. I'll convey this message in tomorrow's session to all the guys, not to play with those videos. Those are accessible to everyone. Not we are not giving to specific one. Maybe what they might have done is they might have downloaded and they felt okay, not required in my drive, and that's how they might have deleted, I guess. Yeah, I'll place once again after end of the session. Yeah, you can check after 10 minutes.
And coming to, yeah, thank you. And coming to the last question, Lakshman. And coming to the previous session, we discussed about the dispatch, right? You said, I mean, a dispatch can be reused for researching. Can that be saved and reused again and again?
Same. See, detach is just detaching that portion of that page. That's all. That you can use for search, or that you can use to perform some task. So, however, you can use some screen searching, etc. In the same way, that also you can use, or else you may use that for comparison between actual screen and other screen, etc. How you want to use that will be flexible.
Suppose if I want to reuse the same detach again and again, can that be saved?
Try it once.
Okay, you have that option?
I never tried multiple times, only one. Even one time also, generally we don't use it, because once you go for detach, it will cover the existing screen, right? Even just we are talking about, generally we don't use that. You may check that.
Yeah, generally what happens sometimes, suppose now we can save advanced save or save options, and we can reuse it in normal applications. So just wanted to check whether it is.
Let's check once. Yeah, this is not tried.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, fine, thanks. Yeah, please.
Hi, Mr. Lakshman.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I call you at 12 o'clock? Is it available for you? I mean, are you available for that time?
Sure. You are.
I just want to know. I just want. I mean, today only I started my the class.
Touch with somebody to receive the link, right?
Yes.
Name Satish or Saida or Monica, Priyanka, etc.
Saida. Yeah, I've received the email from Saida.
Your name is Santosh, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just 12 o'clock.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
We'll have a call at 12.
Sure. Fine.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other queries from
Mr. Lakshman, good morning. I'm Verma.
Yeah, Verma, please.
When I'm trying to practice, if I get any doubts, is there any person to assist me in your options?
So the first point is generally not required. We are discussing very detailed level. Say you have some quick question or some showstopper situation, then I'll be available to connect. Or else you have a simple query, you can email me. Or else you may come across multiple questions. If immediate solution means, I'll be available over the call. Okay. Otherwise, every day we are connecting, right? Say today when you're it is not urgent.
These 5 days of holidays, I was not able to log into the system.
Oh,
that is the one.
Most other guys are not available. Right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we'll.
Okay.
If you have a set of questions, you can email me directly. Okay. We can every day, whenever whatever the doubts you get in the next session, and then end of the session we can discuss. If any urgency, you can talk to the team. They'll arrange a call and we'll connect. If any issues with them, we'll connect and discuss. I'll take care of those.
That is okay. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Any other questions?
Lakshman, for example, customer is in R12 right now, I mean ABS, and they're having a 4 adjustment period. So when they move to Fusion, will it be 1 or 2? Can we change the adjusting period like that, or do we need to continue like EBS?
Yeah. The first point is, for them, Fusion is new application only. When you are going to implement Fusion, EBS we have to treat as a legacy. The reason there is no upgrade possible from EBS to Fusion. So in Fusion, if you need 4 adjustment periods, create 4. That's all. You don't need to worry about how many we have in EBS. That's
okay. Then how the data in EBS will be moved to Fusion? For example, is there is any entries?
You are implementing EBS. Okay. For EBS, they might be using some system, right?
Yeah, right.
How do we move the data? We collect the data. Okay, with the help of technical people, we load, right? Data migrate.
Yeah, right.
The same we have to do in Fusion when client is using EBS. EBS we have to treat as a third party legacy only. That's it. Even that is Oracle.
Okay.
Yeah. As of now, the upgrade solution is not available. Say a client is in EBS 11i, they can upgrade to R12, for example. Or else client is in R12 only, some 12.13 version. Okay, 12.13. They want to upgrade to latest. Yes, the solution is there. They'll apply the patches. Things will get changed. Pre-upgrade, post-upgrade. We'll check this and that. Will some customizations will verify whether those are best fit or we have to modify as per the version. These and all will check and we'll keep it ready and the client will start using, right? So same is not possible in Fusion. If any EBS client wants to use Fusion, again, that is a re-implementation only. As of now. In future, there may be solution.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Fine. Then that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow same time and we'll continue from here. Okay. Thank you all. Have a good day and good night.
Is it the same link for tomorrow as well?
Sorry?
Is this the same link that we are going to connect
No,
in
no,
this
you will
meeting?
get new link. Every day you will get new.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk to anyway. You said like you are in touch with Saida, right? You'll
Yeah.
link from Saida tomorrow before session.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.